Everyone, Ismail is here. Today we're going to start the second lesson of the pre-calculus analyzing graphs of functions and relations. In lesson 1 we learned how we can identify the function. Now here we are going to know how we can find the domain, range, y-intercept, zeros. Zeros means x-intercept, okay? So this is what we are going to learn during this chapter. Also, we are going the second part, we are going to learn how we can find symmetry graphs and when it's even function and when it's odd function. Okay, now let's start with the first thing here. So analyzing function using graph. So this one is easy thing. So this is just to memorizing you that if I have any coordinate on any x and y plan, so just an example, so let's say I have this is y, okay, another one, this is x. Okay, now if let's say if I have a graph on this one here is going like this and this one is going like this. So now if I ask you what is the coordinate for this point, so you will just tell me what's the point on x, right, and what is the point on y. So as you know that this point has a coordinate x and y, so if let's say x is 5, y is 6, so we have to write here 5 and 6, but we don't have to follow this one now. Now what we have to do, because we are studying the pre-calculus, we are going to replace y. Okay, we know that. What's the meaning of f of x? Okay, f of x is a function, okay, and also means y. So if you say y or if you say f of x, both of them are same, no different between them. So I can now replace this y here and I can just write instead of y I can write f of x. Okay, so this is what you can see. So any point on the graph, okay, any point on my graph, this one example, this one here, this one should has coordinate x and f of x or f and y. Okay, so this is what you can see from the graph. Okay, this one here. Then now let's go the first example, estimate functions value. Okay, first if we read the question it has long bare things, so let's read it fast. So the function f of x equal -5, okay, x squared plus 50. So always when you have a question like this, please just underline the equation, look for the equation. Then after this you can read all the equation. The question, approximate the profit at toy company where x represent the marketing cost and f of x represent the profit. Both cost and the profits are measured in tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, now this is the most important part. Always go to the last part and it will show you what the question asks you. Look here, use the graph. So I have the graph here, okay, to estimate, okay, estimate what? Estimate the profit. So I have to estimate the profit. Which one is the profit? This one here, the profit, okay. So now then continue when marketing cost. So as you can see, the marketing cost, okay, is 30,000. So marketing is this one here, okay. So marketing cost is 30,000. Confirm your estimating algebraic. First, if you look here, the question it's saying, okay, this first let's write the function here. So the function it's saying f x equal -5x squared plus 50x. So this is what the function given here. Now what you have to do, look to the cost given. What the cost here is given? The cost here is 30,000, and as you can see, the x is represented by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and so on. And it's saying marketing 10,000, so it means every step is represented by 10,000. So this step here is 10,000, this one here is 10,000, so which is 20. So 20, 30, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. So the question it's mentioning 30,000. So 30,000 it should be at the point 3 because this is 10, this is 20, this is 30. So at the 30,000, okay, at the 30,000, the marketing, we need to see the profit. So if you draw a straight line, it will be somewhere here. Okay, let me zoom in. So it will be somewhere here because if you check the graph, it's not on 100 exactly. It's somewhere here above, a little bit above 100. So now how can I find this value here? How can I find it? So to find this value, I have now to replace the number which is 3, okay, in x. So any x, I have to replace x with a 3 to find, okay, this value on the y to find the profit. Okay, so now let's go to the function. Okay, and let's replace every x with 3. So now f of x equal f of 3 equal -5 times 3 square plus 50 times 3. So now if you calculate this one, you will get f of 3, okay, which is equal -5, so it will be 105. So now 105, okay, is the steps. Okay, now if you look here, the profit means every block represents 10,000. So you have now to multiply this 10,000, okay, multiply this one by 10,000, okay, with the 105. So you can get the profit exactly. So what I have to do, 105 times 10,000. So the answer f of 3 should equal 1,050,000, okay, dollar. So this one should be the profit. I hope you understand this. If you have anything, please call me. Okay, now let's go to the second example. Let's find the domain range for this question. So now the question did not mention which one you are going to use. Are you going to use inequality, okay, or set notation, or interval notation? If the question did not mention, you can pick any of these to find the domain and the range. So I will use the interval notation because it's the easier while you're finding the domain and the range. Okay, now let's start with the domain. So domain always related to the x-axis, and always we start from left to right. Okay, from left to right on what axis? Only x. Now look to the function. Okay, this is the function. Let me put it for you. So this is my function. Look to the function. Okay, so from left to the right, left is going where? Left is arrow. Okay, now I'm looking to the x. So x, which is left or right, I don't care if the graph going down or up. I need just to check, is going down to the right, or going up to the right, or going down to the left, or going up to the left. So if we are looking for left and right only for the domain. We don't care if the graph going up or down. Now look to the graph. The graph is going down, but is down to the left or down to the right? It's going down to the left. So we know that when the x-axis to the left is negative, and if we go to the right is positive. And because going down left, so that means is negative infinity. Now if you move with your function from left to right, so move your function from left to right. Where is the last point on the right? It's this one here. So if you check, this is a point, this is not arrow. So what's the coordinate of this one? So if we put this coordinate, -1, -2, -3. So from negative infinity to -3. And this one should be parentheses, this one should be rectangle bracket because this point is closed circle. Now, how about the domain, the range? So the range is related to the y-axis. Y-axis means from down, okay, to up. So I don't care about the x-axis, I care about my function. Is it going up or is it going down? So now we start from down, the lowest point, to the highest point. The lowest point, look to the graph. This is not the lowest point, because if you look to the whole graph, the graph is going down forever. So because it's going down forever, so that's me, because it's going down from down, which is negative infinity, okay, to the highest point. If you move with your function, the highest point, I have two highest points, this one and this one. So the highest point on my graph here. So what is the point here? It should be 2. So the highest point is 2. And this one should be parentheses, this one should be rectangle bracket. So this is the domain and the range for this graph. Now look to this function here. Let's do this. So the same thing. The domain is from left to right, okay? So now domain, okay, is from left to right, okay? Same thing only on the x-axis. If you check now the graph, okay, let me do it here. So if you check now the graph, It's saying left, where is my last point at the left? It's here, and it's closed. On what axis? On x-axis. So what's the point here? It's -8. So from -8, okay, to the last point on the right. So if I move with my function, the last point on the right, it's an arrow. Because it's an arrow, I don't care if it's going up or down. I care, is it going up right or down right, or left, or up left or down left. So it's going up right. Right means positive infinity. So it's positive infinity, so parentheses, and this one should be rectangle, a bracket. Now, if you look here to the range, so the range also, I don't care for the right and left now. So I care only for up and down, which is y-axis. So where's the lowest point from down to up? So this is the lowest point on the y-axis. So this one should be -9. So from -9 to the lowest, to the highest point, move your function to the highest point. The highest point, it's going up. Up means what? Positive infinity. So this is parentheses. This one should be rectangle, a bracket. I hope you understand this. If you need anything, please ask me. Okay, now we have here some exercises, guided practice questions. Try to solve these, and if you have anything, please let me know. Here, now, example number 3. Find the y-intercept, okay, and find the zeros. Zeros mean find the x-intercept. And keep this rule in your mind, okay? Because some students, if they don't know how they forget. First, right, keep it in your mind. To find, okay, y-intercept, okay, replace x equal 0. Okay, so if you need to find y, put all x equal 0. Now, to find, okay, x-intercept, replace, okay, y equal 0. So you have to replace every y equal 0. Now we need to find, let's read the question and see what the question asks us. Is it x-intercept or y-intercept? Look to the question. Use the graph of each function to approximate its y-intercept, then find the y-intercept algebraic. So we need to find y-intercept. So we have two ways to find y-intercept. First one is using your eyes. So your eye, you have two eyes. The God just create us with two eyes. So now we have to use this two eyes to find the y-intercept. Look to the graph. Where is your graph? Okay, where is your graph? This is your function. Where is your function intersect with the y-axis? You know that this is the y-axis and this is your function. Where is the function intersect y-axis? So if you check, it's this point here. So this point here is equal 4, because this 1, 2, 3, so it's 4. So if you check using your eye, it's 4. So this is how you can estimate graphically. It appears that f of x intersect the y-axis at approximate 0, 4, so the y-intercept is equal 4. Now how can I do this one algebraically? So as you can see, algebraically. So as I told you, if you need to find y, what you have to do, you have to put x equal 0. So as you can see here, this is the function. Every x you have to replace x with 0. So f of x equal x squared minus 4x. So you have to put this one 0. You have to put this one 0. You have to put this one 0. So as you can see in the red color. So f of 0 equals 0 squared minus 4, 0 plus 4. So this term is equal 0. This term is equal 0. So 4. So f of 0 is equal 4. So the y-intercept is equal 4. Now look to the second question. Do the same thing. So with your eyes, okay, if you look to your eyes, so it starts from, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you are going to use it graphically, using your eye, graphically, okay, so the answer should be 4. Okay, now if I want to do it algebraically, okay, algebraically, so now let's replace every x with 0. So this x will be 0 and this x also should be 0. So now g of 0 equal, and absolute value 0 minus 5, absolute value minus 1. So now 0 minus 5 is equal what? Let me write it here. 0 minus 5 is 5. So negative 5 absolute value. What's the absolute value doing to the function? Absolute value is removing the negative. So it will be 5 minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is equal 4. So the answer here is 4. Now let's go to the last question. So if you look to the last question, look with your eyes graphically. So if you look with your eyes, okay, and you move, you can see the point is here. You know, this is 1, this is 2. So if we, let's say, estimate using estimation, so it will be 1.4 or 1.5 something, okay, or let's say 1.3, okay. So just estimation, because it's between 1 and 2 and less than 1.5, so 1.3, 1.4, okay. So let's say example 1.3, okay, just approximate. Now let's do it algebraically. So algebraically, we have to replace every x with 0. So this one should be 0, and this x here should be 0. So now f of 0 equal -2 times 0 q plus 4, all of that over 3. So now if you go down, so all of that is equal 0, because -2 times 0 to the power is 0. So now f of 0 is equal what? 4 over 3. 4 over 3 means 1.33333 in the calculator. So as I can see, that graphically, algebraically are same, okay. If you need to know which one is more accurate, algebraically is more accurate. So let's say you estimate graphically the point, and the point that you estimated is not equal to the algebraically, so for sure you have to change the graphically point to the algebraically that you get, okay. Now how we can find the x-intercept? How can I find the 0? If you read the question, use the graph of this function here. So the function is f of x 2x squared plus x minus 15. To approximate its zeros, zeros mean you need to find x-intercept. And as I told you, if you need to find x-intercept, what you have to do, you have to replace what? Y equal 0, okay. Y equals 0, or you have to replace f of x also equals 0, or g of x also you have to put it as 0. All of these are same, okay. Now let's go back to the question. So the question here, as you can see, this is the function. Now replace f of x equal 0. If I need now to replace f of x equal 0, so this term here is all of that is equal 0. So now 0 equal 2x squared plus x minus 50. Okay, now how can I find the x here? So as you can see, this is a quadratic equation, this is a binomial, second degree. Now I will give you a easiest way to find any quadratic functions. First, we know that the quadratic function is ax squared plus bx plus c. So to know how you do it, first you have to multiply a with c. So a times c. So after you multiply a times c, okay, you remove a. So it will be x squared plus bx plus a times c. Okay, so this is the first step. Let's do the same thing. So now as you can see, a here is 2 times -15. So 2 times -15, keep the 0 equal. Now remove the 2 after we multiply, plus x minus -2 times 15 is equal -30. Okay, now find the factors of 30. Okay, find the factors of 30 that can be added to get b, which is b here is equal, because we don't have b, so always b is equal 1. So now what are the factors of -30 that you will add them so to get 1? So it will be 6 and 5. Okay, now 6 times 5 is equal 30, but one of them should be negative. Is it -6 plus 5, or is it 6 times -5? Which one of these if you add them, okay, which one of these if you add them, you should get 1, okay, because you have to get 1. So -6 plus 5 is equal -1. 6 plus -5 is equal 1. So the answer is this one here. So my x's are 6 and -5. So now you have to put 0 equal x. Okay, to put 2 bracket x. So the first one is 6 plus 6. The second one is -5. Now after you find the -5, what you have to do? Now just divide by the number that you multiply. This is step all the students forget. Don't forget to divide by the number that you multiply. So now divide by 2. Divide by 2. So the first bracket will be x plus 6 over 2 is equal 3. So x plus 3. Now the second bracket 5 over 2 is equal 2. If you can simplify this, just take 2 before the x. So it will be 2x minus 5. So now we can find the x's, so equals 0. So the first x is equal negative 3. So this is the first x. The second x is x equal 5 over 2. So this one is the second. So as you can see, this is the two x's of my graph. Okay, so if we go here to the graph, okay, so the first one here, the first x should be 3, okay, and the second x should be negative, okay, this one should be negative 5 over 2. Okay, I hope you understand this. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Here, if you look to this question, use the graph of f of x, x cubed, okay, minus x to approximate. Okay, first thing, if you look to the graph, you can do this one using your eye, because the first x here, x-intercept, the first one is x equals 0. If you use your eyes here, this one is x equal 1. If you use your eyes, this one also x equal negative 1. So we already know the 3 x's. Khalas, done. We find the answer. If you need to know how to do it algebraically, so take your function, okay, and replace f of x equal 0. So now 0 x cubed minus x. Now what's the common factor between these two x's? Is x. So just take x as a common factor. X, then divide this one by x, divide this one by x. So x cubed divided by x is equal x squared. X divided by x is equal 1, because anything divided by itself is equal what? 1. Okay, anything if you divide by itself is equal 1. So x divided x is equal 1. So now just take every part is equal 0. So x is equal 0. So the first one, x is equal 0. Now take this bracket equal 0. So it will be x squared minus 1 equal 0. So plus 1 for both sides, you will cancel. Okay, go down, then x squared equal 1. Then use square root for both sides. So if you cancel, so x is equal positive or negative 1. So this is the same thing. So x equals 0, x equal positive 1, so x equal negative 1. So this is what we get in the previous. Now, here we have also some guided practice. Try to solve them, and if you need anything, please let me know.